Mercedes is not the only team this season that has to make major changes to its car concept to take the fight to Red Bull. For the first time, Ferrari has admitted that the team has to take a different direction as it might also be in trouble. Up until now, it has all been about maximizing its current package and about improving the consistency of the car through setup changes and ongoing upgrades. But Carlos Sainz admitted that the problem might lie within Ferrari's car concept, and the fact Red Bull simply offers greater performance potential. So what exactly does Sainz mean? Why is Ferrari struggling, and how is the 2023 season going to pan out for Ferrari? Stick around for the rest of the video to find out. This time last year, Ferrari was on an all-time high within this decade's performance, with Leclerc leading the Drivers' Championship, while Ferrari was leading the Constructors' standings from Red Bull. This year, Leclerc is down on 7th, while his teammate Carlos Sainz is 5th on the Drivers' standings. Ferrari has only scored 78 points so far this season, 24 points behind Aston Martin. Ferrari only has one podium to its name in the 2023 season, with that coming at Azerbaijan with Leclerc's third-place finish. Its struggles are down to a combination of factors. Leclerc had reliability problems in Bahrain related to the power unit control electronics, leading to component changes that triggered a 10th-place grid penalty at Jeddah. There have also been tire degradation troubles over race stints, as well as failures to execute qualifying stints properly, such as in Australia with Sainz being in the Leclerc's way on the final runs. There have also been driver blunders too. Leclerc spun into the gravel the first lap of the Australian Grand Prix after contact with Lance Stroll. He had 2 crashes at the Miami Grand Prix as well, one crash costing him a good position during qualifying. Sainz hit Fernando Alonso at the 3rd Australian Grand Prix restart and earned a 5-second penalty that cost him 4th place and was relegated out of the points. It has been a difficult start to new team principal Fred Vasseurs' leadership, accepting that things had not gone as planned for Ferrari, but he stressed the importance of the better tire management gained since Saudi Arabia. Vasseur described Ferrari's race pace as a real step forward compared to Jeddah. While Ferrari's vulnerability in the rear tires was less obvious at Albert Park than it was at Australia, where Sainz displayed strong race performance when compared to the Red Bull, the situation for Mercedes was similar. Albert Park was a track that was less demanding of the rear tires. Vasseur always emphasized the need for the team to initially maximize the available package whenever questions regarding enhancements for the SF-23 were raised. A matter of aerodynamic concept. No, we just have to be able to extract the potential of this car for the whole weekend and in all conditions, said Vasseur. New components were shipped to Azerbaijan, and Miami received a new floor. According to reports, the Miami floor was worth around 1/10 of a second, while the Red Bull's updated bodywork gave them an advantage of 3/10 of a second. Ferrari's inability to get the most out of its car up until this point has contributed to the team's difficulties this year, and on average, throughout a race stint, it is plainly falling behind Red Bull by around a half second. Sainz mentioned that even with setup changes and Miami upgrade, he was not able to push to the limit. At the moment, I cannot push, especially in the race. As soon as you push for one lap, you do one good fast lap, and then the next lap you are 0.3 seconds slower with the tires that were just very, very tough. It means that we don't have flexibility to push or not push, and we just need to follow a certain pace to make it to the end. I am surprised, as I thought we would be better, but Miami showed us that we still have some work to do. The Ferrari SF-23 is obviously not swift enough, despite the team and driver's best efforts. What then appears to be the issue? Let's first take a look at the Ferrari F175 from the previous year. Ferrari's 2022 vehicle attracted everyone's attention thanks to its unusual scalloped side pod design. On a single lap's pure pace, the F175 was frequently quicker than the Red Bull. Ferrari only won 4 races, but due to power unit issues, poor strategic decisions, and driver errors, it lost out on many more opportunities to win races. Ferrari didn't appear to be having issues with the car's potential. Ferrari continued to use this idea in 2023 with the hopes that it will produce a high level of performance. In the off-season, there were speculations that Ferrari had made significant advancements that would enable it to unleash more engine performance rather than play it safe, which would make it a title contender. Given that straight-line speed was a problem in 2022, Ferrari tried to increase it during pre-season testing at the expense of a little amount of downforce, and the drivers claimed this had been successful as intended. Ferrari, though, was forced to reconsider once the Red Bull RB19's pace became apparent. Given the notion that the team had mastered its design concept last year, there are indications that Ferrari is perplexed about the gap between him and the Red Bulls. Sainz continued by stating that this demonstrates how much more capable the development the Red Bull direction is than the Ferrari project. Red Bull has a clear lead, and this shows that we have to change something. Our machine doesn't have a major problem, but it has a very small usage window which makes it unpredictable, said Sainz. The possibility of developing the Red Bull concept is much higher than that of our project, so we have to start looking elsewhere, the Spaniard concluded. Due to Red Bull's greater advancement than what Ferrari believed was attainable, Sainz believes Ferrari made a mistake in continuing to pursue this concept after last year's performance gave them the confidence to do so. Sainz ran through the areas where Red Bull is superior, and it was a damning list containing qualifying pace, race pace, straight line speed, medium and low speed corners, tire management, being better over curbs and bumps. Both Ferrari drivers have indicated the car is peaky, suggesting that as well as lacking performance, it's also tricky to drive. The window of our car is so narrow, and whenever you get a little bit out it has huge consequences on the balance. It's from one corner to the other. Even in one corner, you can have huge understeer which goes to huge oversteer, and this is obviously not ideal to have confidence in the car. We have a lot of work to do, we need to find something now. We are struggling in the race for a little bit of time now, so we need to come up with solutions, said Leclerc. The Ferrari has struggled with understeer at times, suggesting that part of the concept disadvantage is the struggle to maximize front-end grip. This can be not only down to overall downforce levels, but also to the mechanical platform and how well the characteristics like the overall aerodynamics is working. Red Bull's concept advantage is not only in terms of the visible shape of its side pods and top body, aero as a whole, but is depending on how the RB19 manages the airflow in the underfloor as well. This is all connected to its suspension design as well, which is something Adrian Newey focused on with last year's car concept. Charles Leclerc showed how much of a struggle it is to tame the SF-23 around the Miami track and talked about the problems the Ferrari car has had. Whenever we have a tailwind, we suffer more than other cars, but I want the car to be very tricky to drive because I know that's the way you need to drive these cars. The car this year is much more wind sensitive and we are struggling much more with it. It is also consistency, as we sometimes feel like we have done a step forward and then you arrive with some very particular conditions and it is warmer than other races, and then we are completely out of the window with the tires. We are working on that consistency and I am hopeful we'll see the first progress there. What does Ferrari do next, then? Realistically, it has almost little chance of contending for the championship in 2023, and since there are restrictions like the cost limits and the Red Bull already has a significant advantage, fixing things won't be easy. Carlos Sainz provided some insights on the upgrades the team has in the work for Imola and Barcelona, and it seems to be that the Ferrari team is hoping to take a change in direction to widen its options in terms of car development. From here to Barcelona we will try some more setup things, Sainz said. Other updates will arrive at Imola which should help us. In Barcelona, we will try to change the car a bit and go in another direction to see if this can help the race pace. What Sainz is implying is potentially worrying for Ferrari fans. Being slower than Red Bull in a fight with Mercedes and Aston Martin is bad enough. But if its car concept isn't right and really does have a lower performance ceiling than the one pursued by Red Bull, should the engineers back at Maranello taken the U-turn early on the season, as Mercedes did? What is really possible for Ferrari in this season from here onwards? Share your thoughts with us in the comments section down below. We'd love to discuss it with you. And on your way down, don't forget to subscribe to the channel to get notified of our future uploads to keep yourselves up to date about the 2023 Formula 1 season.